Except for the EFF's heated goading of police outside Cape Town City Hall, President Ramaphosa's State of the Nation address went on without a hitch. While MPs mostly behaved, they took a good dig at aspects of Ramaphosa's speech. Some analysts reckon it was a test of Ramaphosa's political leadership as he faces factionalism from within the ANC. The president, though, didn't mince his words about the state of South Africa. But was it enough to keep his rivals at bay? Hlengiwe Ndlovu is a senior lecturer in Sociology at the University of the Free State. She joins us live now. Hlengiwe, thank you so much for your time. I want to start off with his speech right at the beginning was very pro-business. He spoke about structural reforms and he defended business and spoke about government stepping away and letting business do its job of creating jobs. How is that likely to sit with his colleagues in government and in the ANC?
Thank you so much for the invite, and good morning to you and to your listeners. Very difficult indeed to comment on the SONA when you're commenting from a city with barely no service delivery at all. So coming to that, I mean, it was a very shocking controversy, I believe, with everyone who was listening, and with all the hope that, jobs are going to be created, because before that, the president said they will be creating many jobs. And then after that, he spins it very quickly. And then he says government doesn't have any capacity to create any jobs. And from anyone who's watching and anyone who's listening to that statement, it is quite disturbing. And you are right by saying, I mean, the platform for the business was very open, but also given the controversies that already exist within and the tensions within the party itself, it was a clear, for me, a clear division and drawing of lines to say, we know there are two distinct factions within the ANC, and then this is where I stand as the president, while the other faction is on the other side. That's how it read to me.
So essentially, do you feel he wasn't even trying to do anything to keep the RET faction at bay? In fact, he was probably saying, hey, take it on. I have a different stance, and this is what we're going to do.
I think the relationship within the ANC has really, really collapsed. And looking at the factionalism now and the depth of the crack within the ANC is very clear. And given what has been happening, the state capture report and all that, I think the president is trying by all means for me to distance himself from the other faction and to build another relationship on the side. And by that, he's saying to the general public, to the South Africans at large, I'm not aligned to this faction. This is how I think, and then this is the direction that I'm taking. So whatever that you see happening, I'm here still within the ANC trying to keep the boat moving, but there is a crisis, and that for me was a demonstration of how deep the crisis have gone within the ANC itself.
You mentioned state capture and the state capture report, and he did mention it. There was some tough talk about bringing to book those who were implicated in corruption. But some of those people are members of his party, some of them his strongest allies. So how will that sit with the people in the ANC, particularly for a man who's trying to get re-elected as ANC president towards the end of the year?
We are yet to see that unfold. Unfortunately, we are here now, and the two volumes of the report are already out, and the South African citizens are already digging in, and they've seen what's happening and the implications thereof. But also, he said we're going to have to wait until June before we know what's going to happen with those reports and those who are implicated on the two reports. So standing here, we're thinking, what does this mean in terms of the party politics? And as we are headed towards the biggest conference, the election conference towards the end of the year. So the battle lines are already quite clear, but I don't know. I think the president will need a very good turnaround strategy in terms of turning around things within the ANC itself, so that he can try bring everyone together. But I don't believe that, the idea of unity that we walked away with from Nasrec in 2017 is still holding at the present moment. But we are yet to see how things unfold as we move towards the elective conference at the end of the year. But, the state capture report has got huge implications in terms of how does the party galvanize itself and different factions within the group.
In general, Hlengiwe, this speech by President Ramaphosa yesterday, good or bad for him, good or bad for the ANC?
Well, there are a lot of takeaways from his speech. He had a very calm political moment, as you said, in the opening, from the opposition, but looking at the speech in itself, as we have known, these events and these speeches, they've become more ceremonial than a way of charting the way forward. But for himself, as the president of the country, he tried to paint a very good picture of himself, while in very controversial ways also because of what he says on one hand, and then what he continues to say how it's going to unfold. And most importantly, the fact that there is a repetition of most of the things that have been said, that have come over and over the years, but without accountability or even, update in terms of we said this in 2020, where are we right now? Like the issue of ESCOM, the biggest energy crisis that we've been in. So for the country, it was important that he addresses that, although there were shortfalls, but also for the party now, I think the comment on the country's security really exposed, the cracks within the government in itself, and by that he called so many different herds. To say they're inadequate, the offices are not functioning as they are supposed to be. So in terms of what does that mean for the party and for those leaders in those positions, it's something that we are yet to see in terms of how does he address it moving forward.